Shalom, everyone. Boker Tov. Happy almost Tu B'Shvat. We are almost at this most beautiful holiday, I think, the New Year of the Trees in the Jewish tradition. So today we are going to take a few minutes to look at kind of like I don't know, it's a offshoot, as you would might say, as it were, of our meditation through the Psalms. We will look at one little piece of Psalm, but we'll use that as a springboard to look at some other texts and then use those texts in our meditation today. My name is Rabbi Danielle Upin. If I haven't met you, shalom, shalom, and bruchim habayim. Welcome to Meditation Moments. And I'm so happy that we have this opportunity to gather, to meet, to spend a little bit of sacred time together on Tuesday mornings in our Zoomiverse, and whatever time it is for you out in the world, if you're catching this later on, and those of you in a different time zone, shalom, shalom. Let us know where you're from. You could use the chat. And how about let's throw in there today your favorite tree. So where you're from and what's your favorite tree? And we'll start to bring those ideas into our meditation today. Okay, we have our friends from Florida, Shalom, Nebraska, Massachusetts, West Palm. Palm is a tree. Okay, so keep those trees coming. Oh, a cherry tree. That's so nice. Thank you to Fred. And almond trees. Thank you, Daphne. Great. Keep it coming, everyone. And to our friends from California, I'm sorry that it's so early. And thank you for being here. This is really fantastic. Sequoia. Yes. Love it. Big and strong, beautiful trees. Let's bring that tree energy into our meditation. Fig and olive. Oh, I love this. If you have the ability to look at the chat while we're just beginning here, you'll get all that tree energy going, and it feels like being in a diverse forest that has all the greatest trees in them. So let's go ahead and get started today. Actually, it might make sense to we don't always do this, but I'd like to do this today. A blessing for Torah study. So the words are the blessing formula, and then the last words are la'asok b'divrei Torah. Thank you, God, for commanding us to absorb, to soak up words of Torah. So we're absorbing Torah through our root system today. And so the blessing is Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Amen, amen. Let's soak it up together. To be busy, it really means to be busy with words of Torah. That's literally what it means. Okay, so taking a look at a psalm that we began our journey with so long ago, when we began this journey through the book of Psalms, we started with Psalm 1. And here we have V'haya ka'etz shatul al palgei mayim, asher peryo yiten be'ito, ve'alehu lo yibol v'chol asher ya'aseh yatzliach. That a righteous person is like a tree planted beside streams of water, which yield its fruit in season, whose foliage never fades. And whatever that person does, they prosper and they thrive. And I think I need to take a half a step back to introduce in case this is not clear. So this Wednesday night into Thursday is the Jewish holiday of Tu B'Shvat. It is kind of like an Arbor Day in the Jewish tradition, a holiday that comes from the Mishnaic period, already from the first centuries. There was a recognition that this time of year was called the New Year of the Trees. Interesting, right? We have a new year in the month of Nisan, which is around Passover time, according to the Bible. We have a new year in the time of Tishrei, which is the fall holiday, when we have the shofar and apples and honey. Right? That's another new year. There's another new year considered the first of Elul, which is the month before Tishrei. And then we have this month is a time of renewal, a new year in the Jewish tradition, in the holiday of Tu B'Shvat, which stands for the 15th day of the month of Shvat. So when we look out and we see that full moon in a couple of days, so tomorrow night, really, we'll be absorbing and living in this moment of renewal, which is interesting for us because in the Jewish tradition, the renewal time is usually in the new moon. But here we are asked to think about this new year of the trees, and we'll talk about what that means a little more. But this is how tithing is actually counted, and how rather the orla is counted. That you don't pick fruit from a tree, not the tithe, the orla, until it's at least 3 years old. So that counting of the age of a tree comes from this holiday. You might be familiar with the tradition that some parents don't cut their children's hair until they're 3 years old. That's called an upshurin in Yiddish. And that idea of like the child is like this little tree and a little sapling, so not cutting the hair until that time. All right, so that's the energy of this moment in the Jewish calendar, and that's why we are in Arbor Day spirit and looking at some teachings that relate to trees, and then we'll bring these teachings into our meditation today. So we began with the righteous are like trees. Okay, so that is from our Psalms. We learn in Deuteronomy that when you wage a war against a city, when there's a siege, this is from the Bible, that you don't cut down fruit trees. Why? Because the verse is in Deuteronomy 20:19, Ki ha'adam et hasadeh. It's a question. Are trees of the field human to withdraw before you into a besieged city? You wouldn't cut down a human, right, that bears fruit. You shouldn't cut down a tree that bears fruit. When we're in wartime, like we are not these kinds of quotes resonate and they raise a lot of questions. But what I'd like us to think about is not simply, but this idea that is put forth in the Torah, this question of how is a person, a human, like a tree? How are we like trees? And just to notice that comparison is made, right? And if we lived that way as a guiding principle, that humans are like trees, right? We're in awe of trees, and trees provide so much to see humans, to see our brothers and sisters in that way as well, with root systems, trunks, branches, fruits. Okay, so we'll be digging into that a little more, so to speak, in just a moment. Tapping into our own potential. Here is a Hasidic teaching. So this is from the Imre Emet, a book by Rabbi Yehuda Leib Eiger. And this is a stunning teaching. I discovered this through Hadar this past week, and I want to share it with you. He says, on this verse, this person is like a tree of a fruit tree of the field. Like, how is that? When it comes to the Exodus from Egypt, that salvation began to awaken. The word is hitorut, to awaken on Tu B'Shvat, and became visible, hitgalut, in the month of Nisan. Right, we are just a couple of months away from Nisan right now, the month of Shvat, and then we have Adar, and then we have Nisan. This year we actually have 2 Adars because it's a leap year. We have an extra month that keeps us in the Jewish calendar kind of in our holidays in the proper seasons. So the beginning of that process of the Exodus is beginning even now, which is also very interesting and resonant because in the Torah portion we're reading this week is the Exodus from Egypt, the book of Exodus, Parshat Beshalach. So here's the point I want to bring to you. It's like the way trees work. You only plant them once, but then they bloom every year on their own. Even though all the leaves die and the trees dry up every winter, their inner freshness never stops. And that's why the Torah says people are like trees. This is God's way of telling us to never give up. Even if you experience a kind of failing, God forbid, this is just the same of how trees sometimes dry up, but even so, they eventually grow fruit when the time is right. A person should always remember this idea that it's on Tu B'Shvat that the Exodus from Egypt is already awakening. This is so powerful. This is so beautiful to think about this right now. If we're looking outside, and many of us are in a cold climate right now, when you look out and you see that the trees look dead, they don't look productive, how will they ever grow again? And yet we can imagine, because we've experienced before, when we go out in the springtime and we see, wow, that tree that was completely bare, icicles were falling from it, and now it's verdant, it's green, there's fruit. Incredible, incredible. Okay. So moving into this, bringing that idea into our own lives and the ways that we may feel at this moment, or at times in our lives where things just aren't quite right. Maybe we feel a little dried up, sakrachana, in some ways, and we just wish, like, I want to feel that verdant, that vibrancy. Well, just know that it's happening, that there's an inner kind of movement, that the sap is moving up through our treeness right now, paralleling the sap moving up through the trees at this time of winter. That beginning of redemption it's already underway. Okay. Humans are compared to trees in the Jewish tradition, but the Torah is also compared to a tree. The Torah, she is like a tree of life to those who hold fast to her, and whoever holds her is happy. That's Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcha me'ushar. And we have this verse in our tradition from the Proverbs. We repeat that through our prayers as well. What else is like a tree of life? A healing tongue. This is from Mishlei. I only just discovered this one teaching from Proverbs. Maybe it's familiar to you. A healing tongue is a tree of life. Marpeh lashon eitz chayim. But a devious one makes for a broken spirit. So there's a little reminder here that we have that implanted within us, a sense of tree of life that manifests in many different ways. But to think about our own use of language, the way we speak to each other is a way of connecting to verdant and vibrant tree of life, how we use our words, how we communicate, that we can implant life, that we can be life-giving, that we can be oxygen promoting, or we can deplete and take away, right? So we want to strive to be like the former, that healing tongue, to speak kind words is a way of being like a tree of life. There's more to say, but I think I want to take one more, and then we'll bring it into our meditation today. These two rabbis were in conversation, and when one wished to leave, said to the other, it starts with a parable. When he wished to leave, he said, "Tree, tree, Ilan, Ilan, with what shall I bless you? If I say to you that your fruits should be sweet, well, your fruits are already sweet. If I say your shade should be pleasant, well, your shade is already pleasant. If I say that a stream of water should flow beneath you, well, I see a stream of water already flows beneath you. Well, how should I bless you then? Rather, I will bless you as follows. May it be God's will that all saplings which they plant from you shall be like you, that they shall be like you." Okay, I think that just dropped there. And here is one more. This is not from the Jewish tradition, but I thought this would really work for us as well in our meditation. I think this is a tree poem by Kira Tony. I think I'd rather be a tree, to stand in my barrenness effortlessly secure, remarkable in any light, enriched by the world in the way it ought to be for each living thing, embellished by my age and experiences, to give and to receive without expectation, to be nurturing and nourished without doubt. To be nurturing and nurtured without doubt, to have a place that is mine in the world, in a system which knows it needs me and I it, to be timeless, rigidly planted, yet open to entertain the push and pull of the wind, rightfully proud to be as big as I am meant to be, earnestly believing that when my time is done, I've done all I was born to do, expecting when that season comes, as it inevitably will, to elegantly fall back into the earth to await my next assignment. So I'm going to stop this share as we move into our meditation today on trees, on being a tree. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that another custom of this time of year is to plant trees, not just to be a tree and to see others as a tree, but to go out into nature, to actually plant trees. JNF in Israel is a wonderful organization that has undertaken the planting of trees for decades now. But planting a tree anywhere, really, to feel your connection to the land, is a beautiful way to celebrate this season. I invite us in this meditation now to either sit or stand. Okay, you might feel comfortable to be a tree standing, but you can certainly feel that energy of a tree with feet rooted on the ground. Feel yourself connected to the earth in some way. You can close your eyes if you'd like, or soft, gentle gaze as I prompt us through a guided meditation on connecting with that tree energy to be a gracious and giving tree. Find your roots connected to the ground. Deeply inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Like that process of photosynthesis, of sharing, of receiving and emitting energy and oxygen. Feel your trunk extending from your hips comfortably as you can, spine elongated. Facial muscles relax, gentle smile. Feel the crown of your head connecting to the heavens. Breathing normally and feeling that flow of oxygen moving through you from head to toe, skin to bones. Dropping awareness down to your own roots, down through your body to your feet, feeling that connection of physical root, of physical groundedness, anchoring. With tremendous gratitude for all that brought you to this moment. Your own root system, your ancestry, your interconnectedness, that root system that ties you to everybody around you and to all that brought you to this moment. Deeply inhale and then exhale down through your feet, sending a message of gratitude down to the earth through your root system and through all your interconnections. Bring your awareness up through the legs and the trunk, acknowledging your own lived experience. Brush your mind's eye through and across every ring of life and learning within you. Offering a prayer of gratitude for your own ability to grow, to learn, to become wise and strong. Send a message of thanks through all the rings out toward the trunk, your bark. Thankful for the ways that you've been protected. And the ways that you protect others. Acknowledging your own strength, your own ability to stand, to bend with the wind when necessary, but to be true to who you are. Deeply inhale. Exhale gratitude through your trunk, side body back. Moving your awareness up through the arms, through your branches. Taking a moment here, if you're comfortable to inhale and reach your arms up. Grab that good energy. Exhale and reaching arms back down. Acknowledging your own metaphysical branches, your good works, your efforts, your willingness to give and to receive, to reach out and to bring in. Deeply inhale once again as you sweep your arms back up, reaching those branches up and out. And then exhaling out through your fingertips as you bring your arms back down. Bringing our awareness to our leaves and fruit, to the fruits of our labor. Taking these next few breaths to recognize the satisfaction of your relationships, your work, your productivity, and all the good stuff that you bring into this world. Be in your mind's eye, settling on one or two of your favorite productions or co-productions. Projects, successes, big or small. Or maybe even acknowledging the fruit that is yet to come, that is even now in the making, just in the very beginning of budding. Deeply inhale. Exhale with gratitude and thanks for all that is and all that will be. Take one more holy moment here in our tree-like state. feeling the fullness of your being as a tree. Planted by the rivers, bearing fruit in its season. Strong and steady, productive and loving. These next few breaths, feeling the gratitude of your strength and wisdom through your roots, all the way through the crown of your head. When you're ready, bringing hand over heart, hand over hand, sealing this practice with a blessing of peace and wholeness, healing, positive intention to bring into your day. Shalom 3 times. Shalom. 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 When you're ready, releasing hands. Be taking one nice inhale again, reaching arms up. Exhale, bring palms together. Thumbs at heart center. We say shalom to each other. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. This concludes our meditation for today.